emotions?
Yes.
Do the LWA have emotions?
Yes. And jealousy is one of them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so my next so so a lot of times in like what you see on the internet and stuff like that, people, okay, how do you feel about people like drawing? Because we were talking about you know, the LWA in their energy, people calling on their energy and stuff like that. And can you explain a little bit about veves? Because we see a lot of people drawing veves on candles. They love drawing the Ziti Frida, Dontor veves, and Liba veves and stuff like that. Like, are
okay,
they?
So, in
my
my
question
opinion, yeah, I'm listening.
Well, are they really working with the energy when they're using the veve? And what is the veve meant for? So people can know.
All right. So pretty much, I feel like people who use veves a lot, to my knowledge, are primarily people who don't necessarily like people perceiving the LWA as Catholic saints. So, well, this is just about this. I'm relating this one part to Mumbos and Ougans. A lot of times when they use veves and stuff like that on their candles and stuff like that, is because they don't really like the idea of Catholic saints representing the LWA, so they'll replace it with a veve. So that's one aspect. Another aspect is certain people just feel as if a veve is supposed to be a portal that channels energy to and from the LWA, so they'll like put a veve on their candle or stuff like that. And I feel as if the LWA definitely does appreciate it, and I definitely feel like the LWA definitely thinks it's cute. It's like, oh, that's cute. He put one of my veves on the candle. Like, I think that's how the LWA looks at it. But in my opinion, the true power behind veves are basically when you combine veves with cornmeal and the earth. So when you combine veves with cornmeal, the earth, and like the actual design of the veve alone, then you kind of create like this trio connection or something like that. Like, and then that is, in my opinion, what opens the portal that we wish to be opened in ceremonies. So cornmeal, the design of the veve, and the ground, which is earth. So those three things, in my opinion, pretty much invite the spirit to be present as far as like physically and like mounting people and stuff. But like all of that other veves on candles and stuff like that, I think that stuff is just cute. It's just cosmetic, you know what I mean? Yeah,
okay, so you touched on some things because you gave some people a little bit of juice with the cornmeal and the earth, the dirt. Okay, so what is you? Because we learned tonight, you guys, that there's always a flip side and a pro and a con to something that we're talking about. So, what is the dangers of some random ass people that are not initiated getting some cornmeal and going outside and drawing a veve and thinking they're gonna meditate or thinking that they're gonna do something with the LWA with that? Can you please explain?
Basically, I'm gonna say this: a LWA is kind of like a gun, in a sense. And whether you know how to operate a gun or not, if there's a bullet in the chamber and you pull the trigger, it's gonna fire. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is when you're doing all this veve stuff and stuff like that, and you're not initiated and you don't know what you're doing, you're pretty much doing things and you're not necessarily too sure like what are the prerequisites, or you're not necessarily sure like what are the things that you need to do after you do all this stuff. Like for example, when you trace a veve on the ground, this is a little secret for you guys who love tracing veves and stuff like that. When you trace a veve on the ground, you're actually supposed to have an ason, and you're supposed to speak to the veve with the ason once you're done drawing it. So, pretty much like, kind of like when you have a gun and then you just don't know how to use it, and then you just, just start doing things. Eventually, it might just fire, and depending on where it's pointed, somebody might actually get hurt. So I feel like that's kind of like something I could metaphorically compare to people who aren't initiated and just doing things. Like what you're doing, it might completely work. Like even though I don't know how to use the firearm, I might still somehow get lucky and defend myself with it. Or I might somehow not get lucky and hurt one of my loved ones. So it's kind of like the same thing in a sense.
And you, FYI, you cannot just buy a song off of Etsy and just think that you finna shake that Asan. There's a whole day to learn that in ceremony.
Here's another secret, guys. Sorry to cut you off.
There
are 3 little simple words that Papa Loco teaches us that makes everything we do sanctioned by the LWA. So when we're just when we're shaking this ason, we're also saying something in our hearts to activate it. When we're doing all of this spiritual work and stuff like that, we're also saying something that we're taught by the LWA in our hearts to activate it, to let the LWA know that this is sanctioned.
These are things that you cannot just copy from that. It's secret. You cannot. You have to be initiated. You're never going to learn how to do
You're not going to be able to copy. You're not going to be able to copy what that person is thinking about in their heart because you can't see it.
No, and that's how motherfuckers get fucked up out here, and bad shit be happening to people, and crazy scenarios be happening to people because they just taking what they see on Instagram or a video or whatever. They're trying to replicate that energy, and you can't replicate it because there's so many layers to it. There's so many words that are spoken. I
wanted to ask these people a question because it's good to ask dumb people questions because a lot of times when you ask dumb people questions, you realize like, holy shit, you're smarter than we thought. So now, let me ask you guys a question. You're the spirit. You have rules. You have regulations. Someone who is not following your rules and your regulations is pretty much like commanding you to do things, but they're not following your rules or your regulations. As this spirit, what are you going to do? Are you gonna actually be like, hey, I'm a spirit and I'm all powerful and I can hurt the shit out of this person, and I'm gonna completely follow their rules. I'm gonna completely follow their orders, even though they're not following my rules and my regulations. That's like a child going up to a grown person and telling the grown person like, yo, do this and do that. The grown person will be like, what? Nigga, you a kid. I'm a grown-up. What the fuck are you talking about? And that's the same thing with people who do things without rules and regulations. The spirit is way older than you guys. Like, the spirit is grown. The spirit is wise. The spirit is all-knowing. So it's like when you come and you do these things, the spirit knows that you're not following its rules, guys. The spirit's not dumb. The spirit made these rules for a reason, and it knows you're not following it. And guess what? Like I said, spirits are deceitful to the people who don't follow rules. If you don't follow rules, the spirits will deceive you and they will lead you to your demise, guys.
They do not appreciate it at all. They don't like the game.
They will lead you to your demise. So basically, the spirit might be like, oh, look at this kid. He wants to do this stuff without following the rules and regulations. I'm going to bless him. And then after I bless him, I'm going to just come back around to collect what's mine.
Yep.
And he's not gonna know how to like prevent me from collecting it. He's not gonna know how to like just he's not gonna know shit because he's obviously out here doing shit that he doesn't know nothing about. So you guys are just fucking your lives up even more. And then not only that, you're fucking up the lives of your children. You're fucking up the lives of your future offspring and stuff like that too. When you're making these pacts with these spirits by using them, what you're doing is this spirit might just chill out, and then like you have a kid one day, and then now the spirit's like, all right, now I wanna take it out on this kid,